Disappear.
Disappear.
And where did you disappear to with them for so long?
Disappear.
Let me disappear.
Maybe it can make you magically disappear.
My stepdaughter Odette is simply going to disappear for a few days.
消失。
Disappoint.
Disappoint.
Besides, I get the strong feeling that you're not somebody I want to disappoint.
And I don't intend to disappoint them all by getting myself slightly killed.
Do not disappoint me.
Right, I know you think that I could never disappoint you, but Mom, let me tell you, I could.
Oh, sorry to disappoint.
使失望。
Disappointing.
Disappointing.
I know it's disappointing.
It was very disappointing.
That's disappointing.
Which makes this even more disappointing.
Worships the magazine, but so often they turn out to be, I don't know, disappointing.
使失望的。
Disappointment.
Disappointment.
And then, if I decided I liked you,
I hope I'm not a complete disappointment.
So far, I'm riddled with disappointment at the service.
That would be a bitter disappointment, Marshall.
We must be a disappointment.
What a disappointment.
失望。
Disapprove.
Disapprove.
and I do not accept drinks from gentlemen who disapprove of me.
Because it seems like no matter what I do, you disapprove.
You disapprove?
You disapprove of me.
You disapprove.
不赞成。
Disaster.
Disaster.
I know, he's kind of dorky and goofy, but every other guy I've been attracted to, it turns out to be a disaster.
I'm a disaster to be in love with.
My kitchen was a disaster area.
That turkey meatloaf recipe is a disaster.
Yeah, it doesn't really go with your skin tone either, but I can only deal with one disaster at a time.
灾祸。
Disastrous.
Disastrous.
After an altercation following the disastrous reveal earlier this afternoon of the senator's connection to Mexican drug kingpin Rogelio Torres.
Network.
According to recent reports.
Colonel, sir, I'm afraid that would be disastrous.
In a disastrous kind of way.
It would be disastrous.
The point is that this time another child will be disastrous.
损失惨重的。
Disc.
Disc.
And being a gambler, you'll probably end up handing Lane that disc whether you want to or not.
I'm gonna meet with this producer who did Ashanti's first disc.
Is there any music on the compact disc?
They knew we were coming and the disc is gone.
What is actually on that disc?
圆盘，灌唱片。
Discard.
Discard.
And no human studies review committee will ever do anything but discard.
Discard calls, pickup calls, overhand run-ups, the double duke.
Once he's had his fill, he'll discard you like an old rag.
Perhaps we need not discard them.
Still, you were proposing to discard, Mrs. Holland.
丢弃，垫牌。
Discerning.
Discerning.
Are pill poppers that discerning?
But we cannot defend freedom abroad by discerning it at home.
Don't think it'll be discerning what gift came from where.
But I...
Had you been born French, you might even now be kicking high those lovely legs of yours for the appreciation of a discerning audience.
Not all of the other dealers are as discerning as we are.
Oh.
有眼力的。
Discharge.
Discharge.
And it's legal in the U.S. because if you eat just a little bit too much, it causes painful urination, fever, and bloody discharge.
I'm going to authorize an administrative discharge.
It was an accidental discharge.
Just an atmospheric discharge.
This is the discharge gate.
卸下，卸货。
Discipline.
Discipline.
I'm all about form and discipline.
I've needed a real man in my life for years to discipline me.
So, you see, Molly, what people don't understand is that acting is a discipline.
We have no discipline.
You need discipline like I need to miss my period.
训练。
Disclose.
Disclose.
I'll disclose it first thing in the morning.
If you refuse to disclose, they can always take a sample from a door handle or a handshake, even the saliva on your application form.
Okay, anybody on our side hiding any shocking and fantastic abilities they'd like to disclose? I'm open to suggestions.
Tell them it's been happening once a week for about 6 months at a location you won't disclose right now.
You have a moral obligation to disclose it to the court.
揭露
Discontinue.
Discontinue.
Did you discontinue the practice of placing prisoners in open carriages?
I was like an old shoe, the kind we manufacture and get all excited about, and then after a few years discontinue.
Marathon Toys is going to discontinue.
Yeah, sweet. Better discontinue them.
They get you addicted to the perfect lipstick or nail polish, and then 6 months later, they discontinue it.
中断使终止
Discount.
Discount.
5,000 of my employee discount.
Discount on the tickets.
Then I'm going to get it at Kleinman's, this discount place in Brooklyn. Yeah, I think I'm going to give him a discount.
You know, Corey Weinstein can give me a 5% discount whenever I want, but in return, he took my O, so...
折扣打折扣贴现
Discourage.
Discourage.
I don't know if he was trying to discourage me from taking over the place or challenging me to actually do it.
Might suffice to discourage them.
To discourage them from making the wrong decision?
We do pat downs with the crowd to discourage people from carrying, which Walt tried to discourage.
使气馁
Discourse.
Discourse.
I'm going back to listen to my father's very eloquent discourse on the perils of...
I'm here about some monkeys.
Mild, or come not near me. Of good discourse, an excellent musician.
Okay, well, let's have a discourse.
The monologue is his preferred mode of discourse.
You know what? I'd like to open up this discourse with a definition from Webster's dictionary, which would posit that women are not men.
谈话
Discourteous.
Discourteous.
I don't mean to be discourteous, but I think I'd rather meet you in a public place.
I don't mean to seem discourteous, but I got another appointment coming up.
If I see you again, I'm gonna get discourteous on you.
It was discourteous of you not to respect that.
Some of your remarks have been discourteous in the extreme.
失礼的
Discover.
Discover.
But she was dismayed to discover that she herself had ripened considerably.
But what if I don't discover it until junior year and it has nothing to do with the classes I've already taken?
Gordon, you're unlikely to discover this for yourself, so take my word.
I will quickly discover the truth of all this.
We'll discover the sergeant lying on the wet floor of his bathroom, having slipped and tragically.
发现
Discovery.
Discovery.
Are you Alex Anderson, the famous photographer from Natural's Discovery magazine?
Congratulations on your latest discovery.
Hi, everyone. It's me, Emma, and today I am live streaming from the Maple Seed Inn, where I'm sharing my newest discovery, Vermont Botanicals.
Sandpiper hasn't really responded to our discovery request.
Sometimes the redneck is actually watching a Discovery Channel when they break in to arrest him.
发现
Discredit.
Discredit.
And so are your attempts to discredit me with my superiors in Berlin.
Exert influence and provide false witness to discredit our case.
I want to find out something about him, something to disgrace him, to discredit him with the people. If we allow them to discredit every German like you, we lose the right to rule ourselves forever.
It could be a slander created to further discredit our faith.
无信用不信
Discreet.
Discreet.
A little more discreet, though. Okay?
I'm discreet, I'm strong, I've read every feminist book since Simone de Beauvoir, and I still do what I do, and I am very, very good.
No, we'll be discreet.
We need to be more discreet than usual, all right?
You and Max are not very discreet.
小心的
Discrepancy.
Discrepancy.
How would you account for this discrepancy between you and the Twin 9000?
There's a discrepancy between the obligation of Mr. Palmgren's guardianship and the management of your finance.
We expected a big speed discrepancy.
Well, Alan didn't nail it because he caught a discrepancy.
With one slight discrepancy.
不符合
Discreet.
Discreet.
Colonel Eichmann will prepare a discreet transcript of this meeting.
Discreet introductions of lonely men to lovely women.
We'll calculate a discrete arrival location and avoid any materialization collisions.
They seemed, however, ill-adapted to the discrete requirements of 20th century homicide.
This is a discrete tumor. Alone.
不连续的
discretion,
discretion,
Aren't you more concerned about his discretion out there?
My judgment and my discretion are the only reasons your ass didn't end up in jail 5 years ago.
If you talk to
The Manhattan
scientists...
Project has been plagued from the start by certain scientists of doubtful discretion and uncertain loyalty.
The rest of the funds I will disperse at my discretion.
This section is for masters only, but at my discretion, others may use it.
慎重
discriminate,
discriminate,
He doesn't discriminate.
Mr. Keebler, it is not illegal to discriminate against homosexuals.
Of course, it's illegal to discriminate.
They don't discriminate, not when it comes to abuse.
You have to discriminate.
区别
discrimination,
discrimination,
And oppose racial discrimination and promote civil rights, while also promoting equal rights for women.
Instances of discrimination are, in fact, misunderstandings that have been blown completely out of proportion. Qualified African-American woman in a firm which practices discrimination as wantonly and consistently as you and Mr. Beckett claim.
The company says they have protocols in place to prevent discrimination, but we also know that they have a CEO.
We take on clients that are suing their employers for discrimination, sexual harassment, wrongful termination, stuff like that.
差别
discuss,
discuss.
Now that you're up, Your Royal Highness, there are matters we need to discuss.
I have a lot of interesting ideas about the character, and I was thinking maybe you would like to discuss it in a more intimate setting.
I'd like to sit down and discuss with you the possibility of joining our company after graduation.
So I think the time has come to discuss who will succeed me.
We'll discuss alternative childcare options over the next couple of weeks.
讨论
discussion,
discussion.
Do you remember a discussion we had here 20 years ago?
I can't believe my father went to see one of my professors, and then some self-righteous fundamentalist gets into a discussion about creation and evolution.
I will contact him, and we'll have a frank discussion about this.
This was a topic of discussion.
Yeah, we're not going, and that's the end of the discussion.
讨论
disdain,
disdain.
About the only thing you and I have in common is a disdain for mathematics.
From the first moment I met you, your arrogance and conceit, your selfish disdain for the feelings of others made me realize that you were the last man in the world I could ever be prevailed upon to marry.
Is it possible Disdain should die while she had such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedict?
So long, farewell, I'll be Disdain goodbye.
There is no disdain in nature.
蔑视
disease,
disease.
He thinks Moby Dick is a venereal disease.
If you really think that this is the only way to cure him, I will risk the lawsuit, but I need to know that he actually has the disease.
If you'll look at the map on page 63, you can trace the spread of the disease.
This stupid disease has totally changed my life.
You know you can give me a blood disease!
疾病 disempower,
disempower.
I don't want to disempower you.
I mean, I'm not disempower women, but I feel like what we've been missing is a strong man.
You know, women are free to disempower themselves these days or whatever.
剥夺权利 disenchantment,
disenchantment.
I sense a bit of disenchantment, Dexy.
But his disenchantment outlasted mine.
Disenchantment?
The disenchantment with our society, the divisions, whether it's between blacks and whites, between the poor and the more affluent, or between age groups, or in the war in Vietnam. The disenchantment with our society, the divisions, whether it's between blacks and whites, between the poor and the more affluent.
觉醒
disfigure,
disfigure.
I could maim and disfigure people for you and shoot up the ones you don't like.
Well, it would disfigure into something monstrous.
My son did not disfigure your son.
She walks on me, I'll disfigure her and I'll fucking kill you.
Yet, it was not long before the diseases and bewitchments which I'd encountered during my voyage began to disfigure my body.
毁损的外形 disguise,
disguise.
I thought it might be a good idea to disguise ourselves a little.
No, about my disguise.
Then why not stay in disguise all the time?
Was she in disguise, by any chance?
You are the disguise.
假面目，假装。
Disgust.
Disgust.
Anger, fear, disgust.
Ben Ricker was a former trader in Singapore for Chase who quit the whole game in disgust.
Only one man was exempt from my disgust.
They didn't hide their disgust.
You disgust me, you know that?
厌恶，令人厌恶，使作呕。
Dish.
Dish.
All the ingredients and you put them together, and then all the flavors make a final dish.
As you wish, luscious dish.
Is this the dish from Bologna?
Now, that is an incredibly complex dish to get right, and I rarely got it right.
Serious?
Tasty dish.
盘子。
Disharmony.
Disharmony.
And cut out that disharmony crack, and I'll send it in. Any disharmony aboard this ship is my own doing.
I'm sensing a little bit of disharmony.
Increased disharmony aboard this ship?
What do you mean, writing? Disharmony aboard this ship?
不调和。
Disillusion.
Disillusion.
Don't want to disillusion these infants, huh?
I don't like to disillusion you, old man, but I am Jeffrey Baird, Petrov's manager.
Meanwhile, I hope it doesn't disillusion you to know that the local law enforcement people go along with your views.
Oh? Perhaps you can disillusion him.
Thank you, but I regret to disillusion you, Excellency.
觉醒，使醒悟。
Disillusionment.
Disillusionment.
A lesser man would have told me it was one long holiday, and I would have been awakened to a rude disillusionment.
And to complete the disillusionment, you will tell her that you're sailing for North America tomorrow.
Disillusionment is what little heroes are made of.
This is something that I call Craig's dance of despair and disillusion. What we will deal with is the most important disillusionment of all.
幻灭。
Disintegrate.
Disintegrate.
All someone has to do is sneeze too hard and everyone in this building is going to disintegrate.
He's been living in a meticulously constructed fantasy world, and that world is starting to disintegrate.
If I leave without your signature, this agreement begins to disintegrate.
Their controls would freeze up. Their planes would buffet wildly. And they would disintegrate.
Traditional values will disintegrate.
分解。
Disc.
Disc.
I am the disc.
Search him. He has the disc.
Then, we have to destroy all the stuff at the lab, the files, the disk drives, everything here.
What is the quantum mechanical effect used to encode data on hard disk drive?
You'll never have a gold disc, you medium talent.
圆盘。
Dislike.
Dislike.
Do you dislike me for what I said last night?
I doubt he's ever going to like or dislike anything again.
Vance, why do I dislike it? There's no telling what people are going to like or dislike.
They don't dislike each other at all.
嫌恶，讨厌。
Dismantle.
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 I have to try and dismantle that bomb.
I thought we agreed to dismantle the gate on the other side.
I was trying to dismantle bombs, not to build them!
We must break down this institution into the tangible tactics that it takes to dismantle it.
拆除的设备。
Dismiss.
Dismiss.
Better bring the luggage back, and you can dismiss the cab.
I dismiss you.
If His Grace is not satisfied with me, he can dismiss me.
Well, they're anonymous, so we dismiss them completely.
You can dismiss his lies, Andrew.
解散。
Dismissal.
Dismissal.
Dismissal of an action.
Failure to deliver a blue letter is grounds for dismissal.
I am going to rule against summary dismissal.
That you want to skip the arraignment process, go directly to trial, skip that, and get a dismissal.
They follow a workflow that takes them through anything from a standard dismissal to a violent aggressor.
免职。
Disobey.
Disobey.
Brian, why did you disobey me?
Don't you ever disobey me!
I mean, once word leaks out that a pirate has gone soft, people begin to disobey you, and then it's nothing but work, work, work all the time.
If you disobey the rules of the prison, they send you to us.
Meaning, am I just plain stupid, or did I deliberately disobey him?
违反。
Disorder.
Disorder.
Sociopathic psychopath with borderline personality disorder.
Her mood disorder kind of runs in the family, unfortunately, so.
Well, you're not thinking of doing something stupid, are you, Anne?
Maybe these symptoms come and go like the blood disorder.
Now it's just called borderline personality disorder.
What would Sunnydale High do without you around to incite mayhem, chaos, and disorder?
杂乱、扰乱。
Disorientate.
Disorientate.
Disorientate. Dominate the room, disorientate the security.
They wanted to use it as an anti-personnel weapon to totally disorientate the enemy using fear and stimulus, but they shut it down and hid it away in 1986.
We're trying to disorientate her as much as hurt her.
使失去方向。
Disparage.
Disparage.
Marriage is an institute you can't disparage.
How dare you disparage my opinions?
Sir, you may disparage your predecessors all you like, but I don't recall in the past any secret investigation that required the entire Department of Defense.
The sole purpose for its creation, the only reason it exists in the first place, is to disparage an entire race.
Well, look, first off, let me say that there are a lot of good police officers out there, and I don't want to in any way disparage what they do, right?
蔑视、